Hi, Dr. Stories with Mystical Professor here to talk to you today about forgiveness as promised last night during my last recording, and the importance of forgiving others as well as circumstances. Um, it's like, just like with love, I say that I love everybody because to love others is to love myself. Well, it's the same way with forgiveness. If you forgive others, you're forgiving yourself because we're all connected through higher intelligence, God, um, you know, universe, however you want to consider it. That's your option, that's your choice. Because, I'm here teaching the law of assumption, and whatever you assume to be true is true. Remember that. So, whatever you think is true is true. Um, don't give any attention to other circumstances, regardless. Don't. Please learn from my mistakes. But I came on here because I'm going to share a story with you that actually happened to me that was quite unique, and that's why I'm bringing up forgiveness. Because we're told in the book, the good book, if you're a follower of God, that forgive them, Father, for they know not what they're doing, right? That was Jesus on the cross, right? This is the cross, okay? Because I consider the Bible a book of manifestations, and it's not secular history, because I follow Neville Goddard, and that's what he taught from his platform, and he literally lived the Bible, okay? He didn't know that it was literally true, but he experienced the Bible. And I myself have had mystical experiences. I've shared some of those with you guys, telling me the same exact thing, because I assumed that what he experienced, that I would experience and have experienced. So that being said, forgiving others allows you to be free. It really does. It doesn't hold you hostage anymore. Another factor about forgiveness is you can tell yourself that you didn't know the law of assumption or how manifestation or manifesting actually worked, and now you do. So it only behooves you to forgive others and circumstances and situations, because like I told you, you don't know if what is happening is leading you to the fulfillment of your desire, or that includes sending people your way that you may not be particularly fond of or considered, that are part of it. You don't know that, because his ways, whether it's infinite intelligence, the universe, or God, are higher than ours and past our knowing, okay? So that's what you have to always be keeping at the forefront of your mind. And like I've told you, if you're a beginner, trust me, with time and experience, because you can't know something until you experience it, right? With time, this will be much easier for you. And the story that the example I'm gonna share with you is from quite a while ago, when I was still kind of in the beginning, because it happened during the beginning of the pandemic, so the height of it. So back in 2020. So this happened to me 5 years ago. What happened was, an individual was working with my husband. They were just doing a job together, like a simple job. They were building a deck. My husband was helping him build a deck. And my husband was driving far to go help him, and leaving our vehicle at his home, which was much further north than the actual job itself. So then they would get in the other gentleman's, if you want to call him that, but anyway, I forgive him. The other individual's vehicle, and then they would drive back down to the job, and this I didn't know. And he'd been working and helping him for like 6 weeks on and off, while we did some other things, but anyway, other projects or what have you. Anyway, I'm trying to keep this short, but it's a long story. As a result, one day, they got an argument, and my husband said, "Hey, can you just pay me what you owe me so I can leave? I'm gonna just go. I'm gonna leave. I'm calling my wife, and I'm gonna go." And he blew up. He started ranting and raving, throwing things, because the homeowners were there and they saw the whole incident. And needless to say, I had to drive. He called me, and I had to drive. My husband did, and he called me, and I had to drive my mother's car and go get him and then bring him up to the our vehicle, which was, like I said, at his house. And when I got there, the other individual had shown up at the same time and came up at me and tried to hit me and call me some names. And I'm not gonna. I was kind of nervous because I later found out that he had a gun, and so he had a loaded gun. Anyway, my husband dropped his keys. I left some of my possessions. I just got in my car and left. And he followed us down the freeway to his house. He was like passing cars on the shoulder to follow us to his property. And as soon as we got there, and my husband was driving, and I'm not gonna lie, I was scared. As soon as I dropped my husband dropped himself off at the house and grabbed our truck, I turned around and I was gonna go. We had to go unfortunately back to the house to pick up, like I said, a set of keys and a couple other things. But the homeowners were there, and I kept telling my husband, let's call 911. He's like, no. And I was like, okay. Well, needless to say, when I turned around and went back, because I did like a U-turn after I dropped him off, I had to go back. The guy lived like on the side of a lake, and there was he drove me off the road. He came at me, and I had to go off the road, and I almost dropped down like 100 whatever feet into this lake, right? Anyway, we went back. My husband followed back, and I didn't know he was still behind, that he turned around and went back and chased us. I didn't know he followed us again. But this time, well, he didn't go as erratic when he followed us back to the property. Anyway, when we got back to the house, we grabbed our stuff and we were going to leave. A police officer with him showed up and arrested my husband. Okay, I was like, hold on a minute. You're arresting my husband, and this man nearly killed me. He came and he put his fist in my face, and then he ran me off the road. And unfortunately, 2 incidents happened in 2 different towns. Anyway, long story short, because this is a really long story that lasted, involved the courts obviously, and lasted much longer than I would have ever anticipated. But anyway, and like I said, I was still learning how to control my thoughts, being extremely disciplined and what have you, because I knew what I wanted to do after this incident, because I wanted obviously to clear my husband and to prove my case. Fortunately for me, the man, when he tried to hit me, the elderly neighbors saw him try to strike me, but yet when he still had to finish the deck job, and he, I guess, scared him or what have you, because they gave a statement to the police that they witnessed him try to assault me, but they did, because they were elderly and they were very afraid of him, they didn't want to go to court. So because this was during the pandemic, I was able to get a restraining order, and I ended up getting the whole thing dropped. That's all I wanted, and that was my point in bringing this up, is that the power of forgiveness. I have forgiven this man for what he did to me and my husband, and because like I said, and I tell myself, I didn't understand all about the deliberate conscious manifesting at the time. So I'm going to liberate myself as a result of my not knowing, and tell myself, well, I didn't know what I was doing at the time, because had I known, things probably would have been a lot different, right? Yeah, because I would have had a stronger self-confident concept, and told myself constantly that everything, because I've changed my self-concept as a result. And like I said, God sends messengers to us where we need to fix things in ourselves, and I have, I've not had anything at all similar to that ever happen to me again, and nor do I want to. And I tell myself stuff like, and that from all these subliminals I've created, because like just the self-concept alone, I create those. I conjure up the thoughts. Those are from me. I'm the best of the best. Nobody compares to me. Everyone is loving to me because I am love. I experience nothing but greatness because I am greatness. Nothing bad ever happens to me. I'm lucky. You get the point, okay? And those are all great umbrella affirmations to protect me for the rest of my life. And I've now saturated my mind with them. If it comes up, I'm like, no, I'm the best of the best. Nothing bad ever happens to me. And inside or out, I'm healthy, what have you. I know I make sure to have a good self-concept, and I stay in that state, like I told you. So I just wanted to share you, and I've forgiven this man. I've had a couple dreams about him. One was very bizarre, and it wasn't really that long ago. I don't know. I don't follow him. The irony of this man is that I knew him when I was a teenager. He grew up in my neighborhood, so I know him. I don't know him, you know what I'm saying? But I know who he is. I know his family, what have you. So whatever the case may be, I don't care. I used to, the old me, because of all my knowledge, would analyze things. I don't do that anymore. Because like I said, oh no, I didn't know what I was doing, but I know what I'm doing now. And I will do what I need to do to correct it if it needs correcting, because you know your thoughts. You're the creative power. You are the power source. You are one with, infinite source, infinite intelligence. And now I take action to correct it, okay? Because that's telling me that, and I knew then that I had low self-esteem, I had a weak self-concept. I didn't realize that, in a sense, I might have created that, or my husband may have possibly. So I've changed all of that. That's what I'm trying to tell you. And I have forgiven this man for the heinous acts that he committed against me and my husband, okay? When he went to court, I will tell you, he made a complete and utter idiot out of himself. That's putting it mildly. So he what is done in darkness is always brought to light. And I never gave any attention to anything other than the fact, and I walked in the assumption the whole thing was dropped. Okay, that's all I did. I didn't, and everything goes. It's not up to me to figure it out. Infinite source, infinite intelligence, God, universe. It's up to him to do it for us. His ways and thoughts are higher than ours. The man made a complete and utter idiot out of himself in court. I was vindicated, and everything was dropped. Okay, so I could have never orchestrated that. When it was happening and it was drug out for quite some time, I was like, what in the world? But I kept telling him, I even revised it. I kept, no, this didn't happen. This is what happened, okay? And I have, become a much more conscious or deliberate conscious manifester as a result of it. And I have modified and strengthened my self-concept, okay? And told myself, how do I know that, like I've told you, how do I know that these things are happening? How do I not know or know if these things are happening to lead me to the fulfillment of my desire? In that instance, it was just for the whole thing to be dropped, and it did. Okay, I could go on for hours and tell you similar crazy cases or examples. You get the point. To forgive someone is to forgive yourself, just as to love someone is to love yourself. And now I know how this law of assumption and deliberate conscious manifestations work, and it's now automatic for me. And most importantly, I was letting go of the old story, not of my desire. I let go of the old story and the need, and I wasn't in a state of lack. Eventually it all came together. No, I didn't, of course, didn't want that to happen, and that's why I kept revising it. I kept revising it when I thought of it, only when I thought of it. You can be a lazy conscious manifester. It's up to you. You don't have to use these techniques, affirming, scripting. Just walk in the assumption and the state of consciousness that you have that which you want. Or, as I recently came out with another umbrella affirmation-based subliminal today, that everything always goes my way. So I wasn't telling myself that back 5 years ago, but I tell myself that now. And I also give everything good meaning, like the other subliminals that I just created. That everything that I experience, do, think, feel means I have my desires, or everything I do, think, feel only benefits me. And I have some more ideas for some more subliminal content to create, such as, no matter if I'm obsessed with my desire, that I'm still gonna manifest, because that's just it. You keep telling yourself that no matter what you assume to be true is true, no matter what that is. You choose, you decide, because you're the God. infinite intelligence. You're one with God. You're one with the universe. So you choose, you decide. And that being said, I hope you enjoyed this forgiveness-based video upload. It's getting really windy, and there's a truck behind me, and I don't know why it's there, and I'm going to go find out why real quick. And I'll see you hopefully tomorrow. I do plan on going create another upload tomorrow. In the meantime, please enjoy my subliminal that I just created today, which is called Everything Always Goes My Way. I have it right now in a music selection, and I will create one with rain, as well as the one I created yesterday that I make everything mean that I have my desires. Okay, I'm available for coaching. Please don't hesitate to reach out to me, and I'm open to any suggestions for more subliminals. Okay, again, this is Dr. Sorois with Mystical Professor. You have yourself a great day.